Now then everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the worst haircut you've ever seen. Yes, I did actually pay a barber to do this to me. But in this episode, we're going to be putting these lin bins on the workshop wall. To do so, we've got some 11mm OSB board. We've got some of this fancy fandangled sound deadening Rockwoolish stuff. Apparently it's got like other stuff in it that helps with acoustics, because that's my main priority. I don't want to have too much noise coming out of the workshop. Keep the neighbours happy and all that. We're going to hold that on partially with PVA, but that won't do a very good job. So then we've got some 20mm wire mesh over there that we're going to staple on over the top of the sound deadening mat. And then we've got some roofing lats, which we're going to stick to the frame of the building with some CT1, which is like a PU adhesive, essentially. Sticks to anything. So let's crack on. So first things first, we need to cut the board down to height. That is 2010mm that we need to cut it down to. So we're going to mark that out, mark it with a straight edge, and then we're going to cut it by hand because I'm a peasant and I don't own a circular saw. All right, so we've got it down to height. So all we need to do now is just mark these heights here. Now we could just chop the whole rectangle out, but I'm actually going to try and do it so that the saw blade will allow us to slot these gussets. Yeah, so the saw blade will allow us to slot these gussets through the saw mark. So we're just going to take the height. We're going to do it the easy way. We're not going to do any measuring or anything like that. I am going to fold my knockoff lead flashing down at the bottom just to make sure it's the true height. And then we're just going to mark the height here. And then we'll take that measurement, put it on the other side, use our spirit level to draw a line. And then we'll measure from here to our saw mark to get our distance in. Alright, so we've got them notched out now. Just ran the saw blade down each line and then it just slotted straight in there. I've done the same on this side. Next we've got to take it back off again, lay it flat on the floor. We're going to PVA the back side of it just to waterproof it, stop any damp getting into it. And then we'll staple our sound deadening mat on with the wire mesh that we've got. You're probably thinking to yourself, this would have probably been easy, Brian, if you did this before you moved the larder into the garage. But moving on, because obviously it would have been, let's go and crack on and get this sound deadening mat on the back side of these boards. All right, so we're just going to lash some PVA on with the roller. Normally I'd thin this down, but because I'm putting the sound deadening mat over the top of it, I'm hoping it's going to like stick to the PVA a little bit. It depends, you know, if I start applying it and it just achieves jack all and it doesn't go anywhere, then I'll thin it out. I just thin it out with water normally. We'll see how far it goes though. We're just using a normal little mini roller. All right, so at this point, the audio decided to pack up on me, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. What we've got here, we've got some 20mm galvanized mesh. I actually used this on the chicken coop that I built a while back. I'm using just an industrial stapler, just to staple that down in place, and then we're cutting it with some tin snips there. So just rolling it out, stapling it down with the industrial stapler. Here I'm just cutting around where them gussets are going to slot through the board. It stops us having issues with it not sitting flat against there.
And then I'm just using some offcuts on that last remaining part there. You can see me using the tin snips again just to cut it down. I can see there being some concerns about the fact that I haven't actually sealed off this like rock wool substance. And then people are going to be concerned about the dust and everything that comes off it. This is actually going to be like encased essentially by the building, and then the ceiling is going to be like butted up to these panels. So it's not going to get moved, so there's not any dust going to be caused by it. And I didn't want the plastic that would be used to cover it to be against the metal because I didn't want it to sweat. So that's why I went with the mesh in the end. Here I'm just using some, I actually had a bit of No More Nails left lying around. It's not as good as the CT one, but I just stuck with some No More Nails. Clamped it on with some speed clamps just to hold it on there. Held it on there for about 10-15 minutes before taking them back off again. And then the boards just screw straight into there. I also screw the boards into the galvanized frame of the structure as well. I had to get a bit inventive with how to clamp this piece of wood on here, so I just got a bit of sheet metal, some mole grips, and clamped it to the C section. That was the easiest way.
All right, so if we get spirit bubble, which is there, find out which one of these is the lowest. One of these gussets is lowest because I don't think they're all level. Nope. That one looks like the lowest. If we mark, just so you guys can see, if we mark 20mm down from that one, because our holes for mounting are 20mm from the top. If we mark 20mm down from that one like that, probably making carpenters all over the country cringe with the fact that I'm using a bloody marker pen for this, but it's not the end of the world. Do it so that it's level. Job sorted. Right, that gives us a line to bang our screws in. So we've got some little panhead, like self-tappers basically. We're going with the panheads because countersinks will just pull through the slotted holes. I am going to mark halfway. I can think what I did with my tape measure. It's there. I'm going to mark halfway across the width. And they are imperial because that's how old these are. These were my granddad's and I never knew my granddad. Inherited these. Hence why they're a bit rusty, because they were in my nana's garage for many years and the bottom of them rotted out. So these actually used to be a bit longer. They used to be about yay longer, but they'd rotten out at the bottom because they were on the floor. So when I got them, I chopped the bottom off. I am mounting these in the ethos that one day I'll take them off and reinstall them. Yeah, as you can imagine, what's the chances of that actually happening? Once I've done this one, the others will all fly up. Right, I need my drill. I'm in an hour whether I should pilot hole these, but we'll give it a shot first and see what happens. Alright, that's one screw in. Nice. Right, let's double check that we're level. Now that we've banged all them screws in, so we might have to take them back out again. Bang on. Bob is your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Ow. This would be significantly easier if I had somebody to help me. But we don't need it. We're just too damn good. Ta-da!
You choose it, don't lose it, don't let confuse it. Only then you begun. Feel like that. Feel like, feel like that.
Alright, there we go. I'm happy with it. Good old secure. Like I say, it's a family heirloom, this is by now. Lin bins, the advantage of them is you just lift them out and then put it back in. But you can also access it all very easily as it is. The only ones I'm not going to be able to lift out are these little ones. I've done it a bit differently from how I've done it in the past. In the past, I used to make it so the bigger ones are at the bottom and then they got smaller, obviously, because then the higher they are, the less weight's going to be in them. This time I've done them slightly different, and I think I'm going to do it where like washers are down this side of the different sizes, and then nuts, etc. So that we're going horizontally with the sizes. So like here we'd have M4, and then M5, M6, M7, M8, M10, M12. That's my idea anyway. And then obviously there's going to be plenty of space for other stuff like electrical gubbins and everything like that. So I'm a happy chap. There is some empty space down that end. I've got more lin bins at my mum and dad's. And then we've got 2 spare hook frames, I'm going to call them, wall frames. They're going to go down that end for machinery tools, so stuff like drill bits, lathe turning bits and everything like that. Maybe dimple dies will go in those. Basically all my fabrication tooling for machinery essentially. So I'm a happy chap. It does make it a bit tight here, but obviously this neither is at the moment because I had to push it in with a car. This neither is like a foot too far this way from where it will be in future. So we'll have plenty more room by the time it's all how it should be in this workshop. That's it for this one. Not the most entertaining one. You know, apologies for that. It's just one of those jobs that had to be done. So I thought I'd do a video on it, you know, maybe inspire some people to how they could do theirs in their workshop. One thing I need to mention is I did actually put PVA on this board behind where the white panels are. At the top, I've left it blank because I think I'm going to paint that. I think I'm probably going to paint that white. But yeah, I did put PVA on just to seal it before I put the panels on the top. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're watching, please like the video. It's very much appreciated. Share this with a friend who needs to sort out their storage in their workshop. Leave a comment if you've got any lin bins yourself. How else do you store your stuff? That's good to know. I've been watching some videos on this, and in the States they have these like slotted wall panels. Can't remember what they're called now. Might even be called slot panels. I think I might do some of the workshop out with those. And please subscribe if you want to stick around. Ring that bell to get notified. Till the next one. Cheers for now.